Joining us now to put the finishing touches on another exciting night in the big, CBS Sports MLB insider Jim Bowden joins us. JB, always a pleasure to have you here. Plenty to get to across the landscape tonight. Let's begin in the AL with the long-awaited matchup between the Yankees and the Astros. You got to go all the way back to Game 6, 2019 ALCS. We know the story. We've told it here on this show. What did you make of this first meeting? I didn't necessarily feel any tense moments. There was the collision at the plate, but nobody's wrongdoing in that situation. What did you make of this first meeting in over 500 days?
Well, I think it's what we expected. First of all, Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, after the game, saying there was the most energy in that stadium in 2 years, since 2019. And so you could feel it in the ballpark. It started an hour and a half before game time when Yankee fans just started chanting, "Houston cheaters, Houston cheaters." And then they didn't stop. They had signs throughout the stadium. Only 10,800 people, but it sure sounded like 50,000. A lot of cuss words were used that we can't say here on CBS Sports HQ from the fans. Very unique chants. They really picked on Jose Altuve, probably a little more than Bregman and Correa. Certainly those were the three that they were targeting, and they heard it. And I got to tell you, we did have the atmosphere, and early on it was a close game, but we did have that playoff kind of feel. Maybe not to the extent of the Dodgers-Padres series, but you could feel here are two of the best teams in the American League going at each other. You could see the focus in Altuve and Bregman's eyes that they really wanted to do well without the trash cans in front of Yankee fans. You could see that, but I'll tell you the one thing I really picked up during the game. I'm so used to Altuve and Correa and Bregman talking to the other teams at second base and third base on the field. There was no conversation in that game with any of those Astros or New York Yankees. It was cold for sure. So we did have mama drama in that game, Joe. But I got to tell you, if I'm a Yankee fan, you've won 4 in a row. And how about Giancarlo Stanton?
Strictly business out there in the Bronx as these two went at it. We'll look forward to the rest of the meetings between these two. We do have to talk about New York's other club. They get rained out here on Tuesday, but that comes after scratching Jacob deGrom, whose NL leading .51 earned run average is now put into question just a bit as he's going to be shut down for a few days. He's not going to throw due to some inflammation on his lat. Anytime we're talking about a lat, Jim, we're talking about issues. Where's your level of concern right now?
Well, first of all, I'm relieved that it's not the shoulder or the elbow, and I'm relieved that it's not the oblique, because you know that would wipe you out for a month, right? So for those that don't know what the lat muscle is, it's the largest muscle in the back. It's V-shaped, but it does control the movement of the shoulders. And so the most important thing you have to do is get that inflammation out, because if you don't, you're risking the shoulder doing things and moving like it's not used to. And that's where you can tear something and you can get hurt. So the most important thing is don't have him throw for 3 or 4 days. Try to get the inflammation out and then start him up again. And he might only miss 1 or 2 starts. And I think that would be best case scenario. At the other side of it, though, kind of sad that when you have 59 strikeouts and a WAR of 2 in the first week of May, this guy was having one of the best years we've seen since Pedro Martinez in '99 and 2000. So kind of disappointing we have a little bit of a hiccup the way he was pitching. But again, I think it's at least better news than being the shoulder. Or
we can only hope that it comes to a quick resolution and deGrom gets back out there on the bump and to his dominant ways. It's good for the game of baseball. Elsewhere in the NL, we did have a hey, let's play 2 between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Both go the way of the Cubs. The Dodgers now 4-12 in their last 16. Some oddities as well as in the opener. We did see Clayton Kershaw go for his shortest outing of his career, just 30-some odd pitches in 1 inning of work. Where are the Dodgers at right now?
Well, I mean, obviously, they've had a lot of injuries, and that's been a big factor. You saw Dustin May now out for the year with the Tommy John surgery. You've had injuries to the back end of the bullpen. Gratterall is out. Knebel is out. And, you know, the bullpen's a problem. It's a little bit of a question right now. They've got to get through. So the Dodgers, who we thought would be the most dominant team and is the best team in baseball, have now come a lot closer to the Padres and to the Giants. They're going through a very bad stretch. They'll be able to correct it. But this today was a bizarre doubleheader. Clayton Kershaw has never thrown 39 pitches in an inning in the first inning in his life, ever. He's never been hit like that. He just didn't have his stuff. He threw a breaking ball to Rizzo inside, and Rizzo put good wood on it. He missed out over the plate on Bowden. He just didn't make pitches. After the game, he said it was the most embarrassing start he's ever had. Well, and it was short and a lot of pitches. I was a little worried that Dave Roberts wasn't going to take him out because I thought after 28 to 30 pitches, he had to go. But luckily, he didn't put him back out there in that second inning. So Cubs are playing well right now. Bauer didn't pitch great in the second game. He had an early exit, and they end up losing the game to the Chicago Cubs. But don't worry about the Dodgers. This is an early season hiccup. They'll overcome it. But they miss Cody Bellinger, and they've got to figure out this bullpen.
We will continue to figure it all out right here on CBS Sports HQ with our guy, Jim Bowden. Thanks.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.